All right, so I was scrolling through Twitter and I spotted a change. I spotted a change. Breeze, you know, it got a rework, and one of the most polarizing changes was this: blocking off halls. You know, it was a big part of Breeze, but well, it's going back. It's going back. We will open up halls, Riot said. Now, this is weird. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of funny because Lotus just got changed. Icebox got changed. We've had changes in the past. Split got changed multiple times. It's like as if Riot is a little bit lost when it comes to map design, and it's clear that their map design game is weak because let's keep it real, okay? We cannot say maps are designed that great when they need this many reworks and then they're even unsure about the changes they make, right? Like you throw up a Breeze change that significant and then you're just going to change it halfway through. I can't say an episode. The episode just started, but you know what I mean? Like just changing it like that is quite abruptly. A lot of people have mixed feelings. Some people are saying this is a good change. A lot of people are saying Breeze is finally playable. So why are you doing this? Well, everyone has their own opinion. I won't dive into any depth because there is people like Thinking Man Valorant, or I think that's his name. He's a great content creator. He is a lot more qualified than me to talk about it. But my TLDR opinion is that I think it's overall a slight better change. I feel they did it because the Outlaw's in the game and they're like, yeah, go use the Outlaw in halls. Go with your sniper battles is what I feel. But realistically, at the moment, I don't even think Breeze is a good map. I think it's really poorly designed on one key factor, that being that you need a certain agent to play the map. Like if you are not picking Viper or Harbor, you're throwing the game. I don't like that. I think that means the map is terribly designed. Valorant's strong point is its abilities. What makes each game unique is your team comp and abilities. That's what changes it up significantly from something like Counter-Strike, right? And what's happening with maps like Breeze is if I say Harbor, if I say Viper, you already know how the round is playing out on attacker side, okay? You're attacking us, and you can, I don't even need to say it out loud. You know where that wall is going. Close your eyes. You know where that wall is going, so you can attack that site. Because if that wall doesn't go there, the map is unplayable. That is not good design. That doesn't make any sense. That's not the point of this game. So I already think Breeze is terribly designed, and I do hope Hall opens up a little bit more, you know, options, and playing for Hall control is going to be important again. I don't know. I don't personally mind it, but then again, I'm a ratty lurking Yoru main, so of course I don't personally mind it. Overall, I don't really even want to discuss Breeze alone. It's just more so the overall map designing of Valorant is kind of poor. We need maps that enable ability agents and compositions that breed variety, okay? You need to think a lot of ways to place traps, a lot of ways to place smokes, a lot of ways to play around objectives, different areas to map control and what that entails for the game. Now, people will disagree. Like, I think Icebox made some good changes. I like mid control more now. I feel gameplay is a little bit more spicy through mid control. Still not perfect, far from perfect. Things still play out similarly, but just a little bit more spice went a long way. And I actually like Lotus too. I like the Lotus changes. I like it being wider and more open, yet the map still has a lot of key areas. And I think when you play around areas, it's kind of fun. Like if you're taking tree control, that whole gunfight and the ability usage there feels very different than when you're on site, which feels very different than when you're taking a B side, or you know what I mean? Like I like how different areas of the map produce different tactics, make the abilities interact with the environment a little bit differently, and the gunfights change up. That to me is a good map design. Doesn't mean Lotus is perfect. I just using it as an example to sell my point, right? On the flip side, Breeze has never felt that great because it's so open to the point where some agents are just useless, right? Like Raze is not as strong with them, you know, there being more space and anything like AoE is not as strong. Like it's just weird. It messes with too much of the agent pool, and that doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like there needs to be some amount of balance. Like you need to be balancing 4 agents in gameplay, and Breeze doesn't feel to do that, but that's just my opinion. You can disagree, that's completely fine. Now, when it comes to the future of map designs, I've already made a full video. So what about the future of reworks instead? Will Breeze just keep getting reworked over and over and over and over? Is it even fixable at this point? Do they need to just actually rework it to the point where it's like not even reworked Breeze, like Breeze 5.0, like Breeze 2? Do we need to shrink the overall square footage of the map, maybe? Do we need to add key structures, like interior structures? Like, do we maybe hollow out the pyramids and then you can only plant within them or something like that. So you're playing within pyramid control, you know, make the pyramids larger so it's more of that site, add boxes underneath the pyramids. Now we're playing outside and inside. Like maybe if you want wide space, you add more to that space. Now that can cause problems because then you're talking about too many angles for a tactical shooter, but that's why I said maybe shrink the square footage. There's only one pyramid on that site, make that pyramid hollow, add a little bit more depth, add a fucking like staircase, so excuse my language, on one of the sides of the pyramid so you climb up it and you can have some height and different angles. I don't know. In my opinion, I like to, because I don't even like Counter-Strike and I prefer Valorant, but I still like to pull from it, right? Stuff like vents, stuff like certain, I got joked on because I said Counter-Strike has vents, and then people said, well, Split has vents. Okay. That's somewhat fair. That's somewhat fair. Split vents does add a lot of verticality and odd angles, so I do apologize for missing it. But you know what I mean? More of that. More things going on. More things that when you contest, you have to think twice about, and skill scales with it. But overall, it's always about balancing for your game. Another thing Breeze has... I'm sorry this turned a little bit of a Breeze rant. I do apologize. Yapathon. But the thing is, like, also Breeze, for example, like, you just can't play any sort of shotguns on there. You know what I mean? While think of something like Bind. There's a lot of close angles, but there are real areas to be using the operator, right? Like, I felt like Bind used to get a lot more hate than it does now. I think people are a little bit more accustomed to it, like it a little bit more now. But like Bind is a pretty balanced and solid map. If you think about multiple agents, if you think about multiple weapons, if you think how can you play it, what strategies you can use, we don't really see the same things over and over and over. To some extent, you always will, because Valorant is a tactical shooter where metas are going to develop and you're going to execute certain, I mean, it's not as worse. Actually, Counter-Strike has it worse. Certain like execute lineups are literally, it took 1-to-1. You're watching like freaking bots do the same thing over and over again. It's kind of crazy. Valorant already has more variety in that sense, and we just need to be designing maps that enable that variety a lot more. Like Bind, in my opinion, is another good example of what Riot can be doing. Sunset, a lot of people hate it. I mentioned it right from the get-go when it released, and I even was lucky enough to have a Riot dev respond to my own video when it comes to it. I just kind of praised Sunset of being a playground for Valorant and its agents. Same idea. You can snipe on Sunset, you can judge on Sunset, you can use multiple agents on Sunset, and there's a lot of key areas in Sunset where fights happen in their own way. When you're talking about taking elbow halls or taking main or fighting for boba, like everything actually has a key and signature area, but they are designed with enough verticality to change things up, but enough open area to also play the way you want. Like, I actually think Sunset is a decently designed map. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the future of Valorant reworks, it's just about looking at what works right now and redesigning towards that direction, even if you have to make some major changes. I am going to roll the dice right now. This is not the last Breeze rework we're gonna see, but that's just my hunch. Let me know what you think down below.